What the heck, you must be thinking. What is she tinkering with now? Well, actually, I've got a slight confession. I've been tinkering with old typewriters for quite a few months now. Earlier in the year, crikey, was it earlier this year? I bought a Hermes Baby from about 1957 for €10 on a flea market. And what an awesome little typewriter that was. It was actually really great condition and functioning. But from that little typewriter, a little small portable, I learnt how to dismantle, take them apart and clean them and tinker and sort of fix them by getting them serviced, etc. And I've made this video today because if you're the owner of this model of typewriter, it might help you if you have a problem with what's called the drawband. So as I said, from buying that first little Hermes Baby, a lovely little typewriter, I then have subsequently acquired a few more. And this is actually my 9th old typewriter, but it is the earliest one I have. I have some particularly awesome ultra portable typewriters from the 1950s, which are like super slim, and when I get a bit more time I might do a couple of videos to show them to you. They're awesome, and every single typewriter that I've bought, I've taught myself to strip them down, clean them properly, clean this area which is called the segment, because quite often typewriter keys get very sticky. They get gunked up with dirt that builds up in this part of the mechanism here. And a lot of people would probably think, well, if something sticks, squirt a bit of WD-40 in there or oil. And actually that's really the worst thing you can do on a typewriter, because they barely need any oil to function. You know, a light bit of oil on the rails and maybe a couple of drops of oil on certain pivots, but you really don't need any oil on a typewriter because they just are dust collectors. You know, everything sticks to it. Every machine that I've bought has been full of old dust and detritus, human detritus. But I've actually really enjoyed tinkering with them because they're so mechanical. I love it. I have no experience, but there's some really great YouTube videos and a face group page for typewriter collectors and maintenance where I've learnt a lot. So the reason for making this video today is for anyone who has this typewriter. This is a 1939 Adler, which is German for eagle, model 32. It was probably one of the last few production models in 1939 before production ended during the war in Germany. I think it was made, am I right, maybe Nuremberg, somewhere like that. But I bought this even though I was really unsure, because I was visiting a flea market on a motorbike one day on a couple of weeks ago, and it was lovely and sunny, and I had zero intention of buying this machine. I was fascinated looking at it, but it was filthy. The rubber platen in here, which I've removed at the moment, was rock solid. It wouldn't move, it wouldn't turn, there was a knob broken, and really I thought it was too much trouble, and I felt guilty because I've already got 8 machines before that, and so space is a bit of a premium for storing them. But the 2 old gentlemen in there really worked on me to persuade me, and what really sold it was when they said they only wanted a symbolic payment of €1. I mean, €1 for a 1939 German-built manual typewriter was a crazy price. And I thought, well, for that price, I can just tinker with it and see if I can fix it and get it working. And since then, I've absolutely stripped the machine down, and trust me, it was really filthy and dirty inside. I've cleaned this area here, which is called the slugs. Cleaned the keys here and the segment. Luckily, it's not in too bad condition. It's got really nice, they call them glass keys. I think it's glass in the little pieces under here. It could be an old plastic. But it's a really lovely and well-built mechanical machine. But the problem I had was this string here. This is called the drawband. This is brand new. Before, the other one was all knotted up and twisted around this drum here, which is why the carriage wouldn't move left or right. And through watching YouTube videos, I've managed to fix it today and I'm really pleased. So I thought I'd do a quick video, a tinkering video for anyone who has a similar machine or something of this type. Because I had two challenges really. First of all, I had no idea how to fix it, so a bit of research online helped. But it's hard to show you after now. But on the end of here, whatever mechanism was fitted to the side of this carriage here to hold the drawband, or this twine that I've used, was missing. And instead, if you can imagine a C shape, there was a C shape cutout. Well, it was a C shape hole where I couldn't have just tied a knot, for example, on that end, which you actually do on some typewriters, because it would have just kept slipping out through the open C part of the hole. And I think what was there before was some kind of screw or knob that bolted through. But I searched high and low at home. I had absolutely nothing of the right diameter to fit through that hole there. So if anyone can notice there, what I used was actually a pop rivet, a blind rivet that you use on a rivet gun, which was near enough perfect, the diameter of the hole. So with that in there, that pin in there, it wouldn't fall out in this direction. And then you can see I've fashioned it into a hook. I twist it around like that, and I put a couple of bits of shrink rope hose on it just to stop it pulling out that way, which it wouldn't really do because you can see it's under quite a bit of tension there. In fixing it, what I needed to do was to just roughly measure some string or twine, the length of this part of the carriage, and just through there, rightly or wrongly, because I don't really know, there's a little hole in the side of the rim here, and what you have to do is you have to wind up this drum, and I did it about 7 revolutions, so about 7 times, and by the time you get to that, it's under a lot of tension and you have to really hold it tight like that. And when you hold it under tension, you then feed the string or the twine. I've used it's called charred bank line, through here, up through the hole, and tied a wee knot in it to hold it in place. And that's now held under tension. So all I had to do was feed through, and I was quite lucky because with this machine, because it's so old, there's nothing complicated. With some more modern typewriters, you need a kind of really long hook to pull it through, to feed it through all the mechanism. But I managed to just feed it through and just ease it over the hook that I'd made there. You can see and I'd already pre-tied this knot. So in doing that, ta-da, let me show you. I'm so pleased it worked really well. You can see that it works. The escapement, which is this little bit under here, is a little bit squeaky. There's a tiny squeak in it somewhere. So I have to keep listening, find out where that is, and maybe put a tiny, tiny drop of oil on it. But it's nothing really bad. And so I'm really pleased that I've been able to fix that. And when I put everything back together and put a new ribbon on it, which I have, hopefully I can demonstrate it to you and see. You'll get to see it then with all the lovely casing. And it's got some nice gold decals, the original Adler decals on it, which are still intact, which is really nice to see. So that's not a bad tinker, is it? For €1, really decent bit of cleaning I've had to do. It's really painstakingly slow, cleaning all the slugs and literally going through the machine underneath to get rid of every little bit of dirt and dust and nicotine and dust and ooh, it's horrible, grubby. But don't let that put you off you. If you ever have the chance to pick up a machine like this and just have fun tinkering, there's so many videos online and a really great Facebook typewriter maintenance group where people will help you. If you've got some, if you want to try and tinker and fix things. So I hope you enjoyed that. This is the Adler Model 32 from 1939, German-made typewriter. Nice small little thing. I think it weighs about 3 kilos. I can't remember. I didn't weigh it, so I might have to do that afterwards when everything's back on. But this is part 1. Hopefully part 2 you'll see it all put back together at some point. Cheerio, and I hope you found that interesting.